Welcome to the most disorganized homeworld tournament in history, thanks to yours truly. This is Kharak Cup number 3. I'm gonna start casting the games today. And it was pretty disorganized because I messed up, basically. You see on Battlefy, where we have our tournaments, there's like 2 separate sections where you can write the rules, and I remembered one of them and updated it, but then I forgot the other one and didn't, and so there was like old rules from Kharak Cup 2 in with the new ones, and everyone was like, what the heck is going on? It was a big mess. It's basically my fault, but we'll do better next time. Basically, the format was supposed to be a double elimination bracket of best of 3s, but that would have taken forever because we had a bigger turnout than we expected, and it also said like best of 1s on the other page, and so we ended up just doing best of 1s for everything, but needless to say, it led to much confusion. Now we had 11 participants, so this is like technically the round of 16, but there's only actually one match in it, and it's these two. Rebel Leader KN, spawning here with pretty cool colors actually, like red and pink kind of. Not usually a big fan of pink, but I gotta say, it looks pretty good. And Frosty Teeth, which I think that's just like one of the best usernames I've ever heard, honestly. And I like his colors too, but like, Frosty Teeth. You know sometimes how when you eat ice cream, like your teeth hurt? Or maybe that just happens to me, I don't know. But it makes me think of that. It's very uncomfortable, but very satisfying at the same time. Frosty Teeth. Yeah, and it doesn't help, by the way, that his like Steam username is like a smile with like all the teeth showing like super distinctly. It's like, ugh. Yeah, so those are our 2 players here, and their map is going to be the Shells. Now, I've seen Rebel Leader Kane a couple times, never seen him in tournament before. He's a pretty decent player. Never seen Frosty Teeth before, so he's going to be kind of, what's the word, a mystery, an enigma. We'll have to see what his playstyle is. But right now it looks like kind of aggressive, but then not actually moving the LAVs, which is sort of interesting. He might just be doing this for defense, of course. Maybe he plans to expand early, which makes sense. It's the Shallows, I would say that about this map, but like, you can expand super easily. It's going for some early AV fabrication. His opponent, what is he doing? Lots of LAVs here, but still no tech. So, and he's retired his base runner, yeah? Yeah, he did after launching the probe out. So it'll be interesting to see what he goes for. Already getting the assault pack though, so it looks like he probably wants to attack here. The assault pack, of course, the one that unlocks the boost ability, which makes them move like unreasonably fast. So you usually want to get that if you're going to do some attacks with the LEDs. Frosty Teeth, meanwhile, here, going to grab an artifact in the middle, probably. And his turret is ready, so he could, probably not from here, but he could hold this attack off pretty easily if he chooses to. These LEDs just getting ripped to shreds, which you would expect. Base runner picks up the artifact, and it's going to try to extract. This LEV right here finds a nice angle on the probe, takes that out, but this base runner is certainly going to die. However, Frosty Teeth is producing AAVs, so this is not going to be a really big threat for him. Most maps, you know, you'd have a bit of difficulty holding both of your bases with AAVs, but in this map, you really just need to hold the one, put it there, and then have the carrier just like powered up onto weapons like he does. And, or maybe range would be better, I'm not totally sure. One of those two. And LAVs will basically never penetrate into your base, although if you move your carrier like this, your opponent has already done economic damage. I guess because he's queued up a sport cruiser, but he really should stay there until the sport cruiser is finished. That's alright though, because the economy on the other side, of course, is not yet developed, so... And also, since he's already at his second, it's like he's not losing as much anyway, although he should definitely smoke off these salvagers. That looks like it's not going to be necessary. This poor LAV singled out, although it didn't... Oh, and then he smoked him. Anyway, this LAV probably could have gone down if the AAVs had chased, but that is alright. Would have taken some damage from those LAVs since they actually are range AAVs, and there's a lot of them over there. One LAV getting picked off on the side over there. Now there's 2 AAVs pushing out through the middle. And it looks like they want to just come in and do damage, although like we saw illustrated in the last tournament, Coalition carrier right there would block off armored units like 100% from getting in here, so they won't be able to do too much, but they might be able to get these salvagers off of this area. Although, look at that, Rebel Leader can already making some railguns. And these AAVs seem to know this telepathically, they're going to back away. It's very wise. So right now, economy definitely going the side of Frosty Teeth, and indeed there's no sign either of a support cruiser coming out soon from Rebel Leader. He hasn't even started stacking CU, so it's going to be some time before he gets onto his second base. Probably he's looking to do some damage with these LAVs, but we'll have to see. So far it seems like both players... I don't know what I was going to say, but it was definitely inaccurate. Both players playing Coalition. There you go. That's an accurate statement. Anyway, Frosty Teeth playing a bit more passively, trying to get up his economy. I like his rotation of his carrier there. Good move, sir. He's just kind of... like, he's made military units, but he's using them to secure his expansion. So definitely playing the economic game right here. Rebel Leader Can looking like the more aggressive player. I'd love to see him get aggressive with this railgun, because that's pretty good counter to these AAVs. Eventually you can actually kind of besiege your opponent, maybe even push him back into his first, if you're really convincing with it. But these are gonna go up here. That's kind of interesting. Well, now they're gonna go over here. I don't know. I mean, it's okay to play defensively, right? But only if you've already expanded your economy, because otherwise your opponent who's playing defensively with, you know, 2.5 bases, if you will, he's wrecking you, right? So... and he also is going for railgun fabrications. Just finished that now. Another support cruiser on the way based on the amount of time that it's taking to produce. Although, interestingly, not showing up in the production tab. I think it only does like the, you know, there's 3 like slots that you can produce on, or, you know, 2 when you get AAV fabrication. I think it only shows like one of those slots. So if the other one is producing the unit, it like won't show up there. But then the yellow bar does like the other one. It's really confusing. That is what it is. So yeah, the economy from Frosty Teeth going to be looking really strong pretty soon here. Second support cruiser popping out just now. He's going to be one happy man. I would say that puts his chances very, very high right now, because if he's getting onto 3 bases without ever even getting contested, like, very good stuff right there. That's really what you want. Here come these LAVs though. They're gonna try to challenge us a little bit. No, they're not. But they were considering it. I guess he saw AAVs and he was like, no. I would have liked to see him. Whoa! I would have liked to see him stick around just a little bit longer and see if there was an angle he could come in. Like, for example, these 2 railguns were in the middle. Possibly he could have come around and like done damage to the railguns before the AAVs closed in, and then he could back away. Which would obviously, you know, put damage on these railguns. Maybe even kill them if his opponent is kind of falling asleep. That happens sometimes. But instead he's going to see it, and then he's going to back away, and now he's moving his railguns out. I feel like, you know, you should have expected AAVs already. Like, moving the railguns out earlier would have been better. Try to do some attack, because you know that you're behind, economically speaking. The longer he waits to attack, the further and further behind he's going to get. That's basically the principle right here. Although I do like that he is making another production cruiser, support cruiser. I've played too much Galcian, clearly. I also like that he's getting onto the high ground, because then when the railguns fight, he's going to have a significant advantage there. I also really like how he's going to catch this one railgun totally out of position. So he's definitely not out of this yet, but it's looking pretty good for Frosty Teeth already. These railguns get the first shot on this railgun here in pretty grody fashion. AAVs are here to stop these LAVs. They are going to get the base runner though. They're going to back away with high ground advantage on these AAVs, which means they're going to do serious damage, because LAVs are insanely good. Actually take one of them down, and suddenly these AAVs are not looking so tanky after all. Although these LAVs have found a good angle on the railguns. This would be a good time to use the boost, which he has done. He's going to get high ground on these LAVs. And actually looks like he's taken a very dominant fight here. He's done super well. The army of Frosty Teeth, much larger in numbers, but beginning to just melt away. As all of these LAVs go down. Now this is looking pretty good for Rebel Leader. What are the upgrades looking like? Heavy Vehicles Armor 2 is done, only Armor 1 for Rebel Leader. So that gives Frosty Teeth a slight advantage. I'm not German, I swear. Gives him a slight advantage in any railgun fights there. Of course, these guys being on the high ground like they were kind of counteracts that. Frosty Teeth has some interesting positioning over here. Looks like he wants to go for a bit of a backstab maybe with these units as well, which is pretty interesting. I'd like to see what he gets done with this. It's going to get spotted by these two LAVs right here. They've seen it. Actually gets hit by the railgun immediately, which is pretty bad luck. How is Rebel Leader going to respond? Moving these railguns back. They're quite vulnerable right now, though, to LAVs. It's a pity that Frosty Teeth doesn't know that they're there. Salvager's starting to get hit just a little bit on this side. Looks like Frosty Teeth doesn't want to attack them with the AAVs, though. He wants to use like the LAVs for that purpose. So interesting movement there. Also, you notice Frosty Teeth had his carrier sideways. Rebel Leader doesn't, which means that the Salvagers have to move slightly longer when they pick up resources. Really, really small detail, but I mean, you can imagine if your carrier stays there for like a couple of minutes, that could actually be pretty significant change. Oh no, kill this railgun, please. Kill this one. Okay, good. Yeah, the unit, like, after you change attention onto another unit, like, you still shoot the one that you were attacking earlier for like a slight amount of time, so it's pretty common actually to have that happen. Where like you're targeting one and then you flip to the other, but the one that you were targeting first doesn't quite die. It's very annoying. This AAV could really smoke these railguns. Like 2 railguns just went down there, but they didn't need to. Yeah, once again, there's the smoke, but like after the units have already oh, and then 2 smokes too. It's a little redundant. Always good to get in the habit of smoking your units like the second that they're in danger rather than after they're out of danger, obviously. That LAV going for some sick jumps in there. This AAV getting caught out, could smoke himself again, but he wasn't too interested in living much longer. And Rebel Leader making battle cruisers, I like that. They don't tend to be like particularly good units, but I love seeing them. They're so cool. But the downsides to them, of course, are that they're incredibly slow. And they have fairly short range. I mean, it's longer than an AAV, but they get outranged by railguns. They're too slow. They can get kited, stuff like that. So it's difficult to use them to their maximum potential. But like they are very tanky, do tons of damage. Like absolute definition of carrier killers. And on this map where it's difficult to pass through this choke point, that's good because this is all pretty short range. You know, one battlecruiser just kind of marches up here. Gets to like half health by the time it reaches the top, but it doesn't matter, and then it just destroys everything inside, so I am interested to see how he's going to use it. Hopefully not too defensively, but that might be the case. Actually, these LAVs might just scout it right here. Is he going to see? Oh, I don't think he would have seen it, no. That's pretty close, though. That would have been really valuable information for Frosty Teeth. Frosty Teeth. What is his tech choice, by the way? He hasn't... Actually, he's gotten assault cruisers, which is pretty interesting. I really like how he's finished out the upgrade tree for his heavy vehicles and such. That's really good. And actually he's gotten 1 damage and 1 armor for his LAVs too, which makes them not as inferior, I guess I would say. Because actually it looks like Rebel Leader has gone for the full upgrades on those. Makes sense, he's using quite a lot of them. They're looking for like a little bit of a run by here, but awkwardly just standing still there. That's not too good. These railguns found a great angle on the battlecruiser. No, don't go there, don't go there. Oh no, because see, this is a place where you'll die. I like the smoke, but yeah, he's changed its order. This is like battlecruiser, very good. Battlecruiser, very bad. So I didn't like the idea of him choosing to turn over there. Another thing about battlecruisers, their turn rate is like abysmal, and so you have to cue them to the right place in the first place because it takes them forever to change direction. Action kind of going on all over the map here, but Frosty Teeth has extracted an artifact. Not too much going on over there, just some LAVs killing people, like they do. The battlecruiser is now kind of in this covered area of the map. I like that, because obviously it's going to be more difficult to attack with railguns when it's here. And in a good way, actually, it really holds the center of the map. LEDs going down over there. I really like Frosty Teeth's positioning up on this dune here, though. Support cruiser took actually quite a bit of damage. They really got smoked off in the end, so that's alright. Let's see, Frosty Teeth has got some power. Oh dear, come in a second, go down. Should really pull that back. Oh. I think that support cruiser is going to go down. Yeah, I mean, he's got power in the carrier. He can put it into repairs, pull the support cruiser back, and heal it up while this fight is going on here, but he loses it instead. That's pretty poor. And this artifact, like, you came so far. You were so close. Just go. It's like 4 feet away from you. You know, that is what it is. Now there's 2 battle cruisers out on the field. Again, though, not really doing anything with these. Like, that's kind of understandable in some way because of how many railguns there are out on the field. But like, you can make some serious things happen with these battle cruisers. Zone out areas of the map, you know, but at least move them somewhere where they can do something. At this position, I feel like they're just kind of on the defense, which they're not really particularly good at. He's putting them together right here. Not sure if that's good or bad. I don't really use battle cruisers very much, but I feel like they'd probably be better alone. Less easy to counter them, requires your opponent to split his army, reduces his DPS, and also increases the chances you actually find something good with them. Yeah, I'd like to see them get split up there. This artifact extraction was denied by a single AAV right there. Super annoying, but very good play by Frosty Teeth. And he's researched quite a lot of power reserves. You know, I feel like he could use this carrier and the battle cruisers together to kind of like stomp out a lot of these things on the map here. But Frosty Teeth has made a very... Yeah, like, by the way, they're going to kill this AAV, which is good. Frosty Teeth has made a very cool choice right here in going for artillery cruisers. We don't see that very often in single player, especially because the tech tree to get to these has to go through like assault cruisers first, which like almost no one builds. It's very rare to find a situation where they're pretty good, and so going for assault cruisers is generally a bit more risky, but they are excellent against battle cruisers actually, because like most units, they have an indirect fire, but they never actually hit it unless your opponent leaves his unit standing still, but battle cruisers can't get out of the way of it. And so, actually, artillery cruisers turn out to be quite a good counter to them. So, excellent choice there by Frosty Teeth. And we're going to see them in action here, though, although they're pretty unsupported. Please smoke this. Smoke this. Looks like it doesn't matter, none such. He's targeting, like, these LAVs right here, and he's turned around, which means the indirect fire has hit him, and now it's just like, oh, man. Yeah, there go the LAVs. That didn't take long at all. That's what artillery cruisers do when you go through choke points. They're crazy good at that kind of stuff. And that was an important part of Rebel Leader's army because that was like his anti-railgun force here. Now he's going to have some difficulty dealing with railguns in any way. Especially because his units are battle cruisers and AAVs, which like... AAVs are countered by railguns, and battle cruisers are like AAVs, but 5 times as big. It also means 5 times as slow. It means 5 times as counterable by railguns. So, although it takes 5 times as many, get the idea? So yeah, he's making a lot of LAVs, of course, but he's gonna have to be a little bit more careful as he moves them around the map to make sure they don't just get slaughtered like that, because you can't just remake those over and over again. And he's going for bombers. Nice. Again, a unit that we really often do not see. Has he got support cruiser anti-air? Of course he does. And that's a pretty standard thing to get. Kind of a must-have for the coalition army. So the bombers are going to have a difficult time finding good targets, because of course there's artillery cruisers out here on the field that would be really good to shoot up, but they've got support cruisers around them which have very, very good anti-air. So I'm going to be interested to see what he does with them and how effective they turn out to be. There's a lot of AAVs here. The LAV is going to see that and not be able to push out. But in some way, Frosty Teeth, I expect, should be a little bit happy about this, because actually these armored assault vehicles are not, you know, over here somewhere, able to do stuff on the map. Normally, we leave like 2 per base. So like 2 over there and then 2 over there. That's pretty standard, because it seems like, you know, they're able to smoke each other and also the base at the same time. They like have enough damage output to deal with a bunch of LAVs, but... also, I noticed that like these salvagers still have to move, so like the support cruiser, if you just move him back like that, it'd be a lot more effective. Like your mining time is decreased by like a lot, actually. You'd be surprised how much just a small movement like that ends up, like how much of a deal that is, actually. The probe floating in midair before it explodes there. Nice little visual artifact. And these LAVs standing still. Uh-oh. They're gonna get rinsed. They're getting hooned on! I'd say as they take no damage. Actually, that was pretty lucky. They found a good angle on these LAVs, but there are AAVs here to stop them. Oh, I'd love to see them use some smoke, though, but one railgun is going to go down. That should be... Yeah, there's the smoke. That should be all the railguns that go down, honestly, from this. The artillery cruiser's trying to chip in some damage, but I expect they're actually going to do more friendly fire than good. But that's pretty typical. We don't really blame them for that. And what is getting launched there? It's a bomber. The support cruiser's going to chew through it, though. There's the bomber. They do good damage to targets like railguns, though. But yeah, he's forced to dock immediately because otherwise he's just gonna die. He's gonna dock, right? Yes he is. Sometimes the fighters have some difficulty docking, I've noticed that. Anyway, Frosty Teeth with a bunch of LAVs on this side, a bunch of artillery cruisers on this side, but he doesn't even really... Oh wow, a cruise missile. Nicely done. Excellent swing there. But Frosty Teeth doesn't even really care about that because he's got 2 artifacts coming out, so he knows his opponent has to push him. Seems like Rebel Leader has caught on to this fact and he is now pushing in with his carrier. But basically, he's got a pretty hard ask. He has to kill that carrier before this artifact gets to here, which is like 5 seconds of time. And yeah, you can see battle cruisers doing a lot of damage there. But in fact, look at the damage they do to a carrier. Just like 2 volleys took it down like 1,000 health. But that's never gonna finish in time. I think actually from this position, Rebel Leader's beginning to look like he has a dominant position. Like he's about to catch his opponent out in a big way, actually. But it just don't matter because he is going to lose from artifacts. Oh, and look at this. There's even a little backstep going in here. Although that's not going to do anything because there's a bunch of AAVs here. But still nicely done by by Frosty Teeth. It seemed like he knew, hey, I've got 3 artifacts already. Let me just pick up 2 more. And I've got artillery cruisers, so my opponent has to push into that. And using a cruise missile, Rebel Leader was able to do it, but too slowly. And so, artillery cruisers kind of saved the day there. Well done. Excellent swing there. And we'll see both of these players... No. Yes, we will see both of these players later on in this tournament, because the format is double elimination. So they will both move on to the round of 8, but Rebel Leader will move down to the loser's bracket. It's kind of like an insurance policy, I guess. Like, you can lose 1 game. So he hasn't lost a game yet. He has. He still has his extra life. He doesn't. That's kind of the way that this works. We will catch these players in the next round of this tournament.